Hello friends, welcome back. In this video, I will discuss about the controller. So what is actually the controller? In Laravel MVC pattern rule, they have no such directory path in model to view or view to model. For that reason, they need one intermediate media, and this intermediate media is called controller. So now let's get started with the code. So for finding out the controller, you have to go to your directory, then the apps, then the HTTP, and then all that controllers. So when we install that Laravel, we get by default one of the controllers. So that is actually the controller.php. But now I just want to show you how can create the controller. For doing this, we have to go to our project. Like in our localhost, that is a pro, and that is actually the news. That means that is actually our main root directory. And here I just defining as a CMD, and now open it. And into the CMD positions, right now I just want to create one of the controller. For doing this, they have one of the Laravel code as a PHP artisan. Okay, like here I just define the PHP and then the artisan and then make and then controller. Okay, controller, and then you have to define your controller name. So right now I just want to create one of the controller as a hello controller. Okay, so here I just defining one of the controller name as a hello controller. Make that sure your spelling is correct. And now here I just click on the enter. Now here you can see it's now showing as a controller created successfully. So if you go to these positions, and here you can see in our HTTP there is a controllers, and here there was actually by default one of the controller. Right now there the other controller I just created as a hello controller.php. And into this position, first of all, that the name space, and namespace actually one of the virtual directory, and then there is a use eliminate, and there is also one of the class that means, or if you want to get all that user requests, then you can get that things with this request. So that is actually the eliminate one of the class. So there is also one of the class, and then our class name. So here I just created our controller as a hello controller class, and it's extend to the another by default one of the Laravel controller, that is a main controller as a controller. So now I just want to show you how one of the requests pass from the route to the controller. So how this system actually work, I will show you, then it will be very much clear to you. But now here I just create one of the route. Okay, like here first of all I just define the route, and route here I just define the gate. Okay, and here I just define the get route, and into this position first of all I just put on the URL. I just define the URL as a world. Okay, I just define that world, and here I have to assign our controller name. So here I just that is actually our controller name. So I just define that controller name and then at the rate and which method you want to access. Like here I just define as a hello. It means this hello controller I just want to access one of the methods, so that is actually the hello method. So now I just want to create one of the hello method in our this hello controller area. So then it will be very much clear to you. Like here I just want to create one of the method. Okay, like I just define as a public, then function, and then here I just define our method as a hello. Okay, I just define on the method on particular disposition, and here I just return some of the text like as a hello world. Okay, I just define one of the text on particular disposition. Like if you click on the save all, and here our URL is a world. So now I just define that on particular this area. Okay, news and then world. Now you can see it's now showing as a hello world. That means I hope you can well understand about it. So here I just get all the requests from our route, and here I am integrating our controller name, and that is the method, and into this method, that means here I created one of the method, and into this method I just returned one of the text as a hello world. Right now when you access that URL, that means this URL, then our controller method data is now visible. That means the hello world is now visible on particular this URL. Here you can see that is actually the message. So I hope you can well understand about it. And they have another way to create the controller, and that's called actually the resourceful controller. Okay, so like here if you want to create some of the resourceful controller, like you have to write as a PHP artisan. Okay, artisan, and then make, and then you have to define the controller. Okay, controller, and then you have to define your controller name. Like I just define the controller name as the add controller. Okay, add controller, then space and hyphen, and then you have to define the name as a resource. Okay, and if you click on the enter right now, you can see there is a controller created successfully. And now if you go to these positions, like here you can see there is another controller is now created as a add controller. So this is the controller I created, and here you can see before I just created one of the controller that was only the name, class name on particular disposition and the base controller name. But right now I just create one of the resourceful controller, and into the resourceful controller by default automatically the index method is ready on here. There is a create method, there is a store method, there is a show method, there is a edit method, and also update and destroy, that means delete method. Okay, so all that resource automatically by default on particular disposition. So that is actually the one of the another way you can create the controller. So that is actually the resourceful controller. So if you want to create some of the resourceful controller, then you can create that things by that way, rather than you can also create the single controller with that way. Okay, so I hope you can well understand about it. So for now I just want to create another route for our this new controller, that means add controller. Okay, they have already one of the method as index method, so I just want to do some of the work in our this method area. So first of all, here I just want to create another route for this one. Like here I just want to add two of this data. So here I just define the add URL. Okay, that means our home, then the slash add, and now our controller name is the add controller. So here our add controller. So here I just define our controller name and which method I want to access. Like here I want to access that index method. So here I just define that index method. Okay, I hope you can well understand about it. So now I just want to go to our index method, and into this position I just want to return. Okay, I just want to return, like here I just return simply a 2 plus 2. Okay, 2 and then plus 2, and here I only want to visible that 2 of this. And now if you click on the save all, and if you go to the our URL, and here if you add the add URL, so here I just define the add. Now here you can see it's now showing as a 4. That means actually it's perfectly work on here. So on particular disposition, so that is our URL as the add URL. Here I just define our controller name, and into the controller I just define the index method, and in our index method here I just simply add 2 of this value, that is a 2 plus 2, and now it's returned that value as a 4. I hope you can well understand about it, how the controller actually work, how can control route, and how can get that things into this position with the controller. Hope you can well understand about it. So step by step I will discuss all the things, like how can action with the create method, the show, and that is the edit method, how can when I update some of the data then it will be needed. Okay, so that is also the update, and when you delete data then this method will be needed, that is a destroy method. Step by step I will discuss each and everything with you. So I hope it's now a little bit easy for you how the things route exactly work, how the controller exactly work, how can create some of the controller. So there have the two way of creating the controller. One is the direct, you can create some of the controller, rather than they have another option for the create controller as a resource controller. Okay, there is a resource way, so you can create your controller like that way. In our next video, I will discuss about the view page, how the view actually work, how can create some of the view page. Each and everything I will show you with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.